June 21st, 2022. Baruch Hashem, we've concluded Hilchot Tzedakah from Harambam. And I've received a number of requests and questions as to why did I not talk about Ma'aser. I kept speaking about Tzedakah, and I never really brought up Ma'aser. And that's because Harambam doesn't really bring up Ma'aser. He mentions Ma'aser as being the amount to give your Tzedakah. In other words, 1/10, and you could give up to 1/20th, or rather 1/5, I should say, 20%. But he really doesn't go into it more than that. And there's no separate section in the Mishneh Torah of Rambam that talks about Hilchot Ma'aser. Shulchan Aruch as well, in the Simanim and Yorei De'ah that talk about Hilchot Tzedakah, also does not get into a separate section of Hilchot Ma'aser. Again, it's just alluded to, and in the Mefarshim, those who comment on Shulchan Aruch bring in points about Hilchot Ma'aser. So what do we know about Hilchot Ma'aser, and where does it come from? So as an introduction, we have to realize there are differences of opinions among the Hachamim, whether Hilchot Ma'aser is something deoraita, is it something Rabbanan, it's something that's minhag, it's something that's a midat hasidut, is it any of the above? It's obligatory in any way, shape, or form, or what have you. And this is learned out from different Pesukim, but I think I'm going to save all that until the end, until after we go into Hilchot Ma'aser, and we're going to have to use different sources for it. But the main source, the one source, and I must bring this to everybody's attention, because ever since the following work was written, it became the guide to Ma'aser, used by all of our Hachamim, all of the Rabbanim. Everybody refers to it, everybody quotes it, everybody uses that as their framework and guideline. And that is Hilchot Ma'aser Kesafim, as it appears in the book Bet Dino Shel Shlomo. Bet Dino Shel Shlomo was written by Hacham Rafael Shlomo Lanyado, and he was the chief rabbi of Halab, Aleppo, Syria, from 1740 till 1787, 47 years. And then he passed on the chief rabbinate position to his son, Hacham Ephraim Lanyado. Hacham Rafael Shlomo continued to live until 1793. This guide to Hilchot Ma'aser became the framework for Hilchot Ma'aser among all our Hachamim, and everything we're going to study is based upon it, but we're going to read it from various sources because it's just easier to get to the actual practical halakha as opposed to going through all the details that he brings us over there. So whether we're looking at Siyah Ishaq, Rabbi Ishaq Alfiyah, he brings the bottom line Pesach Halacha based upon Bet Dino Shel Shlomo. If we're looking about Rabbi Haim David HaLevi, he's bringing us from Bet Dino Shel Shlomo. We're looking at Nahar Misraim, Hachem Rafael Aron Shimon, he's bringing us Bet Dino Shel Shlomo. We're looking at Rabbi Ezra Basri, contemporary Abedin in Yerushalayim, he brings us from Bet Dino Shel Shlomo. It doesn't make a difference what period, what country. Everything goes back to Bet Dino Shel Shlomo, and that's what we're going to be studying from and understanding. So I just want to open up as part of our introduction. Is it a obligation or not? And what is Ma'aser? As we said, Ma'aser is a 10th, 10%. And a person's monetary income falls under an obligation. Again, we're saying if it's an obligation, to have 10% separated from it. In Hebrew, the sum is known as Ma'aser. And the majority of halachic authorities consider this Rabbanan, it's rabbinic. As we said before, some consider it deoraita from the Torah, and others say it's not an obligation at all, rather a custom, and some will go further and say it's a binding custom. So tomorrow, Be'ezat Hashem, we will begin to delve into more details of Hilchot Ma'aser, and we'll do it over the section of probably of another 10 or 12 sections. please join us, and hopefully this will be very enlightening and informing, because most people don't understand Hilchot Maaser and they go about it the wrong way. Have a wonderful day.